Hello, Steve White's Steve Arts 89 here. Had some good news about the new Terminator movie. Edward Furlong is returning. Now, I was incredibly disappointed that he didn't return. I wasn't aware how few times he had returned. I know in the third film he was played by Nick Stahl. And then Christian Bale, of course, did the older one of him, so that was fine, no one cared. But then in the Genesis film, they had Jason Clarke. I'm reading these. Actually, I can't remember any of these people's names because I don't care about them. But Edward Furlong, he was the original. And I was really disappointed that he didn't come back. And I knew he'd had some personal problems and maybe he wasn't reliable or bankable as a star or whatever. But I was really disappointed. I sort of thought, how can they not bring him back? They kept bringing back Arnie, but that was it. So I'm really glad to hear he's coming back because apparently this film is going to take up from the second film. It's going to ignore the other sequels. It's its own universe. They're messing around with time. They're doing the universe multiple timeline thing that everyone's doing as an excuse to make different versions of everything. And I think it all undermines the original film because the first two films on their own are brilliant. Then once you get to the whole, oh no, we didn't save the world because we need to make more films about the world being at risk, but we can't save the world, so all these films are absolutely pointless, which is probably why people didn't really, Terminator 3 was not, as big as Terminator 2, because it kind of undid Terminator 2, and that kind of rubbed people the wrong way because they love Terminator 2, so I don't know how they're going to do this film. I don't know if they're going to, I have no idea what the hell's going to happen. And I'm happy with that because when I do see the film, it will be a surprise. I saw all the other films except I didn't see Genesis in the cinema. I ended up seeing it. Did I see it in the cinema? I know I saw it on video. I've got it on DVD. But yes, so James Cameron was at San Diego Comic Con is on. James Cameron did a video because he's on the set of Avatar, and he said they were thinking about bringing back Sarah Connor and they asked Linda would she come back, and she did, and then he just mentioned that Edward's back as John. Now the bad news is, the rumor is that he's just coming back to die. They're just bring back the character to kill him, so he's only going to be in a couple of scenes. So it's not going to be about saving John or John saving the future. It's because now this is the woke version of the woke timeline, I guess, the woke verse. So it's going to center around the female characters and Linda, and that Edward's coming back to die, and Arnie is just basically back as their dog, and he's just there to protect them. That's the cynical hater version, because I don't know. I'm sort of in between where I have my social justice warrior moments, but then I also am quite capable of hating on crap that pisses me off. I try to watch a lot of people's videos just for the information, not for the opinions, because everyone is either one side or the other, and I find myself ping-ponging backwards between both, so it's not good. I want to try and be in the middle, but the cynical side of me, yes, looks at it as just, okay, they want to do a whammon version and a woke version. It's all about the women, and they're just going to kill off the men and make them redundant and pointless. But that doesn't need to be true. There's no reason why they can't have the main characters be women and still treat men with respect and not cannibalize the male roles characters already established for the series. So I'm going to give it a chance and see it, I'm going to see it anyway. But whether I have any enthusiasm depends on what I hear from other people. And Arnold's talked a bit about his role. Basically, he didn't have to come back, but he wanted to. Basically, he's back in the protector role. He's basically joining them and protecting them. He's not an enemy. I'm just thinking, how the hell did he survive? How did he survive the second film? Because I just learned a moment ago that it is a direct continuation, like Halloween was of the original Halloween movie. This is a direct continuation of the first two Terminator films. So I have no idea how it's going to go. And they didn't say much, because I've just got the two articles I've had a look at, because I just found out about this. It just was sort of broke like 3 hours ago. So I'm very happy Edward's coming back. He is the only John Connor. and I was introduced through the second film. I saw the first film after the fact, and I saw the sequels, and they were all disappointed. The second one, the third one, which was the second sequel I saw. So I saw the first one and the third one after the second one. Like, we sort of watched that, my nieces, that sort of in like the background. It was just sort of on. We weren't really in it, weren't engaged. You weren't really invested. It was just sort of like a lot of big action pieces and set pieces and stunts and stuff. And you just kind of love that Arnie was back, because we all love Arnie in the Terminator. But it didn't have any of the gravitas of the second film. It was just I don't know, like an elevator episode of a TV series. I don't know. Yep. And the fourth film, where they were in the future, and it was just dark and grim and miserable. And again, it undermined everything about the other films. Saw it with a boyfriend at the time. I can't even remember it. Genesis, I actually liked it. I actually thought the characters, the energy, it was all good, but again, it just was invalidating the earlier films again. So when I heard another one was coming out, because I haven't seen the series and I wasn't sure how it was going to work into that universe, and I was going to do my research and basically watch the series and do all this stuff and work out, and now I realise I don't have to now, because I just need to. That's what they're doing it for. They're doing it for me. They're doing it for the old fans who love the originals and just cannot make sense out of the other ones, or didn't follow them, and now we don't have to, because they're just creating a new timeline or a new universe or whatever, or going back to that universe because it was changed in the other films, blah blah blah. So yep, that's all I know. I've probably talked too long. I'm just really excited because I'm all about originals and tradition and carrying things on, and when you can get an original actor back in a role, especially after 20-25 years, something like this, it's great. When you have other actors play the characters, it doesn't work. Now maybe if they're a child and then they're an adult in the film, you have a different actor, it sort of can kind of get away with it. They nearly got away with having Edward recast, but you know, the actors were nothing like him. So the fact he was a kid the first film didn't make that much difference, but that's usually the only way they can get rid of it, get away with it. So I'm really happy that they're doing this, and hopefully there'll be more news, because Comic-Con is really just starting today. It's Friday in Australia. I think I think it starts Friday there, runs through the whole weekend. I've never been. But I'm going to be seeing, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of news. I'm going to try not to do too many videos because I'm not there. Well, I'm reading what other people are reading, so it's only stuff that excites me I'm going to talk about. Because I am looking forward to this film, because Linda Hamilton's back. She's awesome, love her. John's back, Arnie's back again. And as long as it's not uber woke, I think it'll be good. But it could be a complete bomb, who knows. They could totally undermine the characters, or they could totally take them to a new place. You don't know. Recent history makes me a bit cynical, but you don't know. So, okay, thanks for listening. Feel free to like, subscribe, and leave any comments, because I like hearing what other people have to say. That's why I watch everyone else's videos. But thanks, bye.